What's going on, Seats? How you doing, bud? You work hard today, John? Uh-oh, the boss girl's on here. I see you didn't get snake bit. Get a few more people to jump on here and we'll fire this up, guys and gals. Scott, good to see you on here, bud. Christine, I'll tell you what. I don't care if it's a male copperhead or a female copperhead, and I don't care what color they are. They just need to be dead. That's all they need to be. Snakes, yeah. Got me in here looking around, seeing if there's any in here. Yeah. Ricky, good to see you on here, bud. I don't know about all you guys, but we just had one good rain come through. I thought I was jinxed for a little bit because the power went out for a while. I'm like, well, here we go. We got to cancel another show because of storms, but she's back on. Christine, I don't blame you one bit keeping the cold Ohio winters. I'll take a cold, nasty blizzard over a snake any day. I appreciate it. You have a good night. Scott, 38 shot shells for snakes. You got that right. All right, guys, I've kept you long enough. Let's fire this thing up, get it done and over with. Talking about proper fertilization tonight. Simple one, easy one. Any questions, ask away, because again, like the last couple shows, these topics, there's not a lot to talk about with them. So if you have questions, food plot wise, mineral wise, attractant, I don't care what it is. It does not have to be about proper soil prep. It can be about anything. But getting back to the proper soil prep, you know, any of you that listen to me over the last quite a few years, you'll realize I do things a lot different than a lot of other people. The reason I do them different is because I've done them every way possible and found that the way I do my plots now, work my soil, I get the best results from. Really, it depends on what you're planting as well. But the biggest mistake a lot of people make, that I think and that I see, is that they will actually till their ground way too deep, way too powdery, or even disc it way too deep and work it up and work it up and work it up and get it as powdery. You do not want your food plot to look like your garden. If it looks like your garden, you're going to have germination problems, I promise you. For me, you'll never catch me ever disking or tilling a plot over 2 inches deep. Never. To make a seed bed. Now, jump back a minute and tell you that here in Illinois, where I'm from, you know, we have good black soil, but we have some clay. So I will always go out every year before I work ground, and I'll take a tile probe, I'll stick it in about 18 inches deep, If it's good and soft 18 inches deep, I can push right through. I'm tilling 2 inches deep. If I push in there and I find a hard pan in the soil, especially if I have clay, if I find a real hard pan that will not let me hardly push through it, or it feels like concrete when I'm hitting on it, I will get in there and rip that plot up. I mean, I'll plow it up. If you're able to plow one, I mean, I'll turn that soil under to break that pan up. I want that broke up for the root system. Now, 90% of the plots that I have, I do not ever have to do that, just because I got a good black soil content in them. But one of them I have that has some clay into it. About every 5 years, I really got to work that up. So in that case, I am working up deeper to bust that soil up down deep. If I'm sticking that tile probe in and I got a good hard pan down there 6, 8, 10 inches deep, I want to destroy that soil just to break that up. But if not, 1.5 to 2 inches deep is all I'm going. I'll never go any deeper. The deeper you go by tilling and disking, the more weed seeds you're bringing up. The biggest question I get, or complaint that I get, called in, emailed in, anything in, they will reach out to me after they plant something, a customer will, and say, I got this grass growing up, or I got this weed growing up. It has to be in your mix. No, there's none in the mix. It's actually the weed seeds that are embedded into your soil that every time you turn them up to the surface, they're going to germinate. They're buried down deep in that soil, but when you turn them up, they go out of that dormancy, they will germinate. So that's where you're getting your weeds and grass from. And unless you buy a mix that has grass in it, which hopefully you're not. But that's probably the biggest question I get asked a lot is, where's this weed and grass coming from? 90% of the time, the people they're tilling 8, 10, 12 inches deep. They're trying to turn it to powder, lose germination by not call packing it. If you turn it too powdery, there ain't a call packer out there that's going to pack it tight enough for you to get germination. So lighten up that tillage. That's the main thing right there, is lighten up your tillage. That 1.5 to 2 inch deep. You're going to have less weed seed, weed and grass seed growing. And it's just going to help. All you want is a good, firm seed bed. That's all you're looking for. A cul-de-packer or a roller, or tire track it in with your ATV. If you don't have a cul-de-packer or roller, you want that bed firm before you seed onto it. Biggest mistake a lot of people make is they will till and then they will broadcast seed and they'll walk away. Or they till, broadcast seed, and then cul-de-pack. You're pushing the seed way too deep. 99% of the stuff you're going to plant in the food plot world is actually, the seeds are like pencil leads. It's best to leave them on top or push them in lightly. So by cul-de-packing that plot, firming it up, and then broadcasting your seed and cul-de-packing it one more time, you're just pushing them seeds in. I want to still see them seeds after I cul-de-pack that second time. I want to see the tops of them seeds. If I don't see the seeds, usually they're too deep. So a lot of times you'll catch me before a rain. I'll only cul-de-pack to firm the soil up, and then I will go back in and I will just broadcast the seed right before it starts raining and walk away from it and let Mother Nature set the seed. So if I'm running out of time, works out excellent. So, kind of a way to look at it, and I try to explain it to people this way. People will go in the springtime of the year, or let's say the winter time, pretty much, February, March, even up north in April, they're frost seeding clover over an existing clover plot, or they're frost seeding clover onto a brassica plot to get make a nice clover plot out of it. You're not working the soil. Them seeds are sitting on top of frozen ground, and Mother Nature is setting them. So why in the fall time of the year are you going in and tilling a plot 8 inches deep to plant clover? It doesn't make a bit of sense. So it doesn't matter if it's winter, spring, or fall. You do not have to till that ground that deep. There's no reason to. Does it look beautiful? Absolutely. There's nothing better looking than a powdery food plot, but it's the worst thing you can do. So just think real lightly. You never want to plant a seed any deeper than 3 times the size of the diameter of the seed. So you take a clover seed, you take a turnip seed, anything like that, you're looking at a pencil lead seed that you do not want to go any deeper than an 1/8 inch. A lot of people hear 1/4 inch, hear 1/2 inch over the years. That's the thing of the past, guys. You really want Mother Nature to help you set these seeds, or call the pack, firm that bed up, broadcast them, call the packet again, or seed it right prior to a rain. So without call the packing the second time. Get them seeds on top. Now, when you're working with oats, cereal rye, peas, soybeans, corn, different story, guys, which we all know that. Corn especially. Peas, I will do my peas the exact same way. And my soybeans, I'll do the exact same way. Only negative thing about doing it the same way I do by call the packing and then broadcasting and call the packing again with my peas is if the turkeys I have in my area love to come in there and peck the seeds. So getting them a little deeper does help in high turkey populations, unless you're just wanting to fatten turkeys up. So that works out real well. But that's how I will do them. I'll do the same thing with my oats. I'll do the same thing with my cereal rye. Now, can you cover them a little deeper? Absolutely. You can go down to about a 1/2 inch, just because them seeds are so big. But you do not have to. It's just really going to depend on the birds in your area of what's going to happen there. Because the birds will destroy them plots with them seeds setting up there, the heads sticking out of the soil. But I still plant them the exact same way. My soybeans, my peas, my cereal rye, my winter wheat, my oats, I plant the exact same way. And it works very, very well. Anybody's ever been out there and threw out oats on top of black soil, let it rain on it and see what happens. They're going to germinate. I mean, if they can get by all the birds and everything, they're going to germinate. So you do not have to get them way down in there. But for the bird issue, it's best. They'll still pick through, find them, but not as easy. But, you know, that's the key thing right there is light tillage, call to pack your soil prior to seeding, call the packet after seeding. Now, one step a lot of people don't make, or they make the mistake of doing, is they will go in and put their fertilizer, especially on an annual plot. They'll work their plot, they'll seed it, even if they seed it properly by tilling it, call the packing it, seeding it, call the packing it again, then they come back in with their fertilizer and put it on top. Till that fertilizer in, especially nitrogen. Anything nitrogen, you're wanting the nitrogen out of it, you want to till that in to help speed up that breakdown. You don't want to lose that nitrogen by evaporation, which you will by letting it set right up on top. Mother Nature will suck the nitrogen right out of that. Till that stuff in. I do the same way if I'm actually working ground to plant a clover plot, which is not very often. 99% of all my clover is done by overseeding after the frost is out of the ground. I put it right on top. But if I am building a plot and I am going to work the soil for a new area, I will always take my granular potash and I will till it in just to help the breakdown process get started up quicker. So I don't have nothing there. I'm not worried about losing anything out of that potash like I am nitrogen, but it helps the breakdown process. Also with lime, if you can work lime in, it helps that breakdown process. So always make sure that you kind of take all the steps and do them the proper way. Yes, if you get it all done and you do it different ways, you're going to have some success out of it. But if you do it the right way, as in fertilizing, tilling, call the packing, seeding, call the packing again, you're going to be good to go if Mother Nature treats you right. This year, and I know in my area, I've been blessed with the rain. My plots have never looked this good in 5 years because we've been in droughts at this time of year. This year, it's awesome. And we got 1.5 inches of rain yesterday. We got another 1/2 inch just 25 minutes ago. I mean, I can't ask for better weather for the plots as of right now, and hopefully it stays that way. But, you know, with proper soil prep also comes picking the proper thing for your plot. I'll just throw this in there, the proper mix. I'm not looking at it real well here, but I see somebody putting something about rocky soil. You know, there are certain things that grow better than in rocky soil, especially like turnips. Radishes. Tubular radishes love rocky soil. Uh, so getting the right things that's going to grow the best in your area is pretty much the number one step of figuring out what's going to grow best. Usually you get in with a decent soil that's not too sandy, as in sugar sand, but a good loomy soil, even some clay. Pretty much anything that you can buy from us is going to grow in it. The red zone does very, very well in rocky soil. Excellent in rocky soil. My favorite thing to do in a rocky soil. Even in the sandier type soil, the only negative thing you have with the sandier type soil is losing all the moisture, which we can talk about that a little bit. When it comes to a real sandy soil that will not hold any, sand is like a filter. The water is going to filter right through it. The rain will go right through it. Prior to, getting in there planting anything, get you find a farmer that has some old bales of straw, or some, I really don't like using grass clippings, but it works. But grass clippings, leaves, anything that you can find like that to spread over your plot and till it in is going to put organic matter into that soil, and it's going to help retain that moisture. Our Plot Max, our soil conditioner, works very well for retaining that moisture. Great soil conditioner. I had a very good talk with a customer yesterday about why you use Plot Max and how it works, because it says it will raise the pH. That's not what it's not what it's designed for, and it's not going to work the way you want it to. With it being humic acid, it's going to spike the pH, very short-lived, but it kind of is one of them deals. If you're low in pH in your soil, you added your lime, but you need to plant, using a product like Plot Max or soil conditioner is going to help spike that pH to help them seeds germinate while that lime's starting its breakdown process. So it just helps in the germination process. It is not a pH enhancer. It's not made for that. It's not intended for that. But being humic acid, it will spike it and help with your germination rate on a lower pH soil while you're waiting for that lime to break down and do its job and build that pH up to the desired level that you want. So the Plex is an overlooked product that I'm a diehard user of. I've been lucky enough to test it in ways that other people can't. And just to see what it can actually do blows me away. So that's why I'm such a diehard user of it. And like anything, I try to tell people, if you're skeptical about it, even the foliar fertilizers, stuff like that, just spray an area of your plot and not the other, and just see the difference in it. Then you'll be a believer on what it can do. So existing or non-existing plot, you'll be a big believer in the Plot Max if you try that. So, but no, that's pretty much it for proper tilling. Picking the proper fertilizer, the proper depth that you want to till or disc. You guys, I have planted more plots just dragging a harrow section over dirt than I have by tilling or disking a plot. All my younger years, all I ever did, I had the old big red 3-wheeler, which I still have, the old girl in the shed, and I had a 4-foot harrow section. And I've actually had 3 of them because I wore 2 of them out. And I still got 1 left. I'll go through a plot after I kill it off, and I'll just run that harrow section with the teeth down, facing backwards. And I will just go over and over that plot just to loosen that top little bit up. And it works excellent. I've had some of the best plots I ever had by just doing that. So you don't have to have a tractor. You don't have to have a tiller. You don't have to have a drill. You don't have to have a planter. You don't have to have any of that. You can do these plots with a steel rake, no matter if it's even a premium mix. Long as you're in an area, say our trophy clover, if you're in an area that you've got a good pH in the soil and you're getting at least 5 to 6 hours of sunlight a day, if you got a steel rake and you can get down the good seed to soil contact, you can grow the trophy clover just as good as I can. You don't have to have a tractor or a tiller or a disc or anything like that to do it. And a lot of the stuff you see online anymore, everybody's going to drills and all different types of them. And don't get me wrong, they're excellent. There's no better way to plant a food plot than with a drill. But not everybody can afford one. Not everybody has plots big enough for one, and not everybody has a tractor big enough to pull it, or an ATV big enough to pull a small one. And I mean, it's just, if you have the acreage, yeah, you can't beat one. But if you got a lot of small plots, you don't need a piece of equipment like that to make a beautiful food plot that's going to be lush and offer you a lot of tonnage of food. You can do it with a still rake, a hand pump up sprayer with some herbicide, and you can just go to town, and that's all it is. So for many years, a backpack sprayer was my best friend. And I mean, even now I see they even make them, but I got in there hanging in the shed. I should bring it in here one of these days. I've always been the one to make my own stuff. And I actually made a 6-foot wand that I could hold with my backpack sprayer, hold it, and I had a 6-foot wand that would spray 12 foot, that backpack sprayer, and I'll just walk with it. I mean, you don't have to have high dollar stuff to build these food plots. Is it nice to have them? Oh, heck yeah. Technology is awesome, but it's not a must have. There's a lot of things out there that I want that my wife looks at me and just shakes her head going, no, you got enough toys, go play with them, which I'm kind of glad she tells me that because I enjoy it. So, but yeah, we all want something different. All right, let's see what we're missing here, guys. See what people are talking about. Give you some time to give me some questions if you got some. Mike, good to see you on here, bud. Both Mikes, good to see you. Chris Ashley, good to see you on here, bud. Man, I'll tell you what, Scott, Canadian thistle, that stuff is nasty. If it's just popping up sporadic, the best thing you can do is a good herbicide and go in there, dig that stuff up, and just spot spray the root area. I mean, it's some mean stuff, and it will spread like wildfire. So, I mean, that would be the thing I would definitely do if it's not covering your whole plot right now. If it's just spotty, I'd get in there, take a spade, cut that root system off, get rid of that plant, and spot spray them areas. Mark Coleman, no problem, bud. Them storms just went through here, so I understand if you got to get off. We got hammered. Scott talked about having rocky soil, game changer clover. Game changer clover works awesome in that. James Weaver, absolutely, bud. Good to see you on here, man. Kevin McFarland, good to see you. See, right there is what I'm talking about. This is, and I know this guy, and I have a lot of respect for this man. His name is James Weaver. He calls me and asks me about questions about food plot stuff and everything. And I really like that. I mean, he's not afraid to ask a question, but just like something I would do, he said, I used a heavy duty pallet and ran about 100 lag bolts in it to keep them sticking out. That works perfect. I mean, that works perfect to bust up that top layer. You're not going too deep. You're not bringing up all them weed seeds and grass seeds. Works out perfect. And so, James, I appreciate you putting that on there, bud, because I really like stuff like that. I'll take something homemade over something store-bought any day in this world. Every disc that I have had, I built. There was so much. My trailers for my fertilizer, my spreader, I'd build all that. And it's just how I was raised. But I enjoy doing it. And then I enjoy seeing the outcome that how my hard work paid off. I really enjoy that. And I like to see a lot of the youngsters get into that. And instead of just going out there and going in debt for something, build something, see how it works. You know, I remember when I built my first disc, it was for my 3-wheeler actually. And I was trying to figure out how wide to go with it because I know the 3-wheeler can't handle that much. And the pitch of it, what kind of degree do I want? And, you know, I worked on it a couple different times and got it to where that thing would work ground better than the 4-gang disc for my small little tractor that I bought, you know, and it was just amazing, but it works so well. And a lot of people look at these small discs, even if you are buying one, the ATV discs, are like, oh, I got to put all this weight on them. Just won't dig in that deep. They don't need to dig in that deep. Scuff up that top layer. If you ever see me disc a plot, and I tried putting it on here because I thought about it today, but it will not let me play a video on here. I have me discing an area with my tractor, with my 4-gang disc, that it is literally floating on top of the ground. And you would look at, well, aren't you going to go deeper? No, I just want that real fine, dusty top. That's all I'm looking for. There you go. Scott has a loader tire wrapped in chain link that he pulls after spray killing. Absolutely. Every little thing like that works out great, guys. Works out perfect. Glad to see it. Mike got some barricade down, fresh till, steady rain. Man, that is a perfect day, bud. Excuse me. Well, guys, give me some questions. I'll mumble on here a little bit, but we about discussed everything we're going to discuss here on the proper tilling. I mean, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's not much to it. The key thing, like I preach in my seminars and all, is just try it one time and work that soil lightly. If you're using a tiller or a heavy disc, try to set that 3-point to where, you know, you're looking at 2 inches max, and just see the difference you have after you call the packet or roll it or tire track it in. And when I say tire track it in, you know, I'm looking at, for years, I didn't have a call the packer. So I would actually just take the 3-wheeler and I'd start on one side of the plot and I'd drive down, go over, down. I just keep following my tracks and just keep going one track over each time. Pack that soil, seed it, run over it again. Worked out perfect. You know, I've been in big plots where we use pickup trucks and done it before. It just packs that soil down, so when it rains, Mother Nature pushes that little seed deep. And that's the reason I'm wanting a firm seed bed, is because these seeds are so small. And if you get a rain like I just had here a half hour ago, it would push every single clover, turnip, radish seed, anything like that, in a plot that was not packed before seeded, it would push it 2 inches deep. It'd probably push it as deep as you tilled it. So that's another good reason a harrow works so good, or like James on here talking about with the pallet with the lag bolts in it, or lag screws in it. You're busting that top up, so if you do get that heavy rain, it's not going to shove them seeds too deep anyway. So that's why when I said some of the best plots I ever had were by using a harrow section, a 4-foot harrow section that would just scuff up that top layer. When them heavy rains came in, I didn't have to worry about the seeds going too deep. The only thing you have to worry about with a little harder soil under and not much topsoil is the runoff. If you get a real heavy rain that wants to wash your plot, it can wash that seed with it. That's where I started going in a little deeper with the disc, going in, you know, 2 inches. And now that's where I'm staying at, is that 2 inch. That still gives it good enough for me to pack it good and tight so the seeds don't get drove too deep. And if we get a real heavy rain, it keeps it from wanting to wash the seeds through. So that's one reason I really do that. Rob's on here talking about hilltop sugar sand is what I have. I like to plant some buckwheat in the sandier soil this coming week to help build that organic matter in the ground so I can plant fall annuals. Question is, will it be beneficial for growing cereal grains in a food plot during the fall hunting season? Absolutely. So very, very beneficial for cereal grains in a fall food plot. I plant them every year. I plant cereal grain with my honey hole mix. It's already in my grade 8 that I'm planting. It's already in my fall, winter, spring that I'm planting. But my honey hole, I mix it in with it. I do the exact same thing for my slam dunk. So I love cereal grains. Number one, the real main reason I love it, there's two. One, high in protein, especially in a smaller area. Not saying this is a smaller area, but for the guys that have smaller areas, you cannot beat cereal grains for a small food plot, because as fast as the deer eat it down, the quicker it grows. It's not a one and done. And then it also comes back the next year about 3 weeks earlier than normal spring green up, and offers you about 30% protein for about a good 3 to 4 months before it dies off on its own. And it's what I kill every turkey I've killed in the last 10 years in. So works out excellent. And it's a great soil builder. James, good question. So I just bought an SD card video camera, wanted to start filming some hunts this year. So I know it's not my name, but do you think we could start something, or could start something where us amateurs could start putting videos on Antler King's website? I was thinking Antler King Outdoors. Absolutely. You know, our Antler King food plot and deer management page, you can actually share all your pictures and your videos on there. And then I do got to say, and I do got to admit, I'm the one that has to approve them. Certain times of the year I'm busy, and once a week or once every other week it hit me, man, I got to hit that manage button on there and go through and look at all the pictures and start using them or giving them to our social media team, and they will put them out on our main Antler King page and stuff too. So as of right now, you can just go to the Antler King food plot and deer management page and share all them photos on there, and I'll start using a lot of them. I mean, I love seeing guys building plots, doing things. So yeah, it'd be great. And it's something that, you know, I could build another Antler King page just for something like that, for people to share the stuff to, where I don't have to approve it. The reason I have to approve it, and I'd probably have to approve it on that one too, truthfully, after what I'm getting ready to say, there's so many scammers out there that they will fill my page up with the most garbage, sexual content, you name it, they put it all on there, which you guys probably seen on your main pages and stuff before too, but it's ridiculous. So that's why I had to go and put it into where I have to approve everything. And literally, when I go in, let's say I'll wait a week before I go and hit the manage button to go in and see about the people wanting to be friends on there or follow it. I'll usually have 3,000 to 4,000 people on there that want to follow that page. And out of that many, there might be 200 that are actually legit people. If I didn't do that, they'd all be on there and destroy the page. And that's what they're trying to do. So I'll talk to the social team to see if what their thoughts are, our marketing company, see what their thoughts are on starting something where we can just have all you guys add stuff to it. You know, it might be a join page where you just join it and you can add the stuff on yourself. And I don't have to worry about having to look at everything. Just add the people I trust on there. So I'll figure that out before the next podcast. That's a great idea. Kevin, just planting about a half acre of buckwheat? Absolutely, man. Oh, Lincoln. We were just talking about your Packer Max there, Bubba. Packing soil. That's what you're good at. JC, how you doing, girl? Hope you're doing good. Better watch that grandpa of yours, though. Actually, with him being on here, for the ones that you don't know, just to make him happy, that is the best packer. That is the best call to packer on the market. I wish I had a 6-footer, but I just can't get him talked into sending me one. But the four footer has done me well for many years. But man, that 6 footer would sure be nice, I'm telling you. All right, I'm done begging for product. So what other questions you got on here for me, guys? I'm thinking it's about ice cream time, really. I'm craving a chocolate covered cherry blizzard right now, I'm telling you. Lincoln, I'm just giving you crap, bud. You know I gotta give you a hard time. John, you're exactly right. 6 foot would be nice. That what I have found with my 4 footer, and I'm anal this way, guys. And the reason I'm giving Lincoln a hard time, not only just because he's one of my dearest friends, but I got to give him a hard time. If not, he'd give me a hard time. With my 3-wheeler, it covers my tire tracks, and I'm the guy that cannot stand my tire tracks showing in my food plot. So when I switched out and I got the side-by-side and starting to retire the 3-wheeler, it would actually, the side-by-side, the wheels were so wide on it, it drove me crazy because it left about 2 inches on each side. So that's why I've been giving him a hard time about a 6-footer. But since then, I sold the side-by-side. I bought a brand new 4-wheeler, and the 4-footer works perfect. So the good thing about the 4-footer is I really like is you can get it into tight places. There's a lot of plots that I have. They're in a tight place. A lot of the Cul-de-Packers out there now are bigger and bulkier. They're hard to get in. And again, not trying to make this a sales deal for Packer Max or for Lincoln. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just telling you the reason I like them so well. So work out perfect. I can drain the water out of it, pick it up myself, and throw it in the bed of my truck. So works out great. All right, guys, we're going to be getting off here shortly. Throw me some questions out this way, and I'll try to answer. If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up for you. I'll let you guys get back to your night. See what these storms look like out here. I don't have any windows in my trophy room here, so I don't know what it's doing out there. I can hear it, but I don't know what it's doing. Mike, you're asking, any tips on not using herbicides? It is very tough, very, very tough on a big area. The key thing, I don't have a lot of experience doing this because I use herbicides, but it's very similar to me using herbicides as well. If I was a guy that wasn't going to use a herbicide and I was going to work a plot, especially with the tiller, I would get in there and till that plot. And then I would probably go back 2 more times and hit that plot. I'll let it start to get a little bit of green up from the weed seeds that you pulled up. I'd lighten my tiller a little bit, raise it up a little bit from about 2 inches to about 1 inch. Till it again when it starts to pop that green out, and then possibly do it again where I lightly just scrape the top just to try to get rid of some of that root system. But every time I would definitely want to raise that tiller up higher than the last time. And I do that when I'm spraying. I do that for weed control when I'm spraying. So, but I will go in and I will spray. Then I will, after it starts dying off, I'll go till my 2 inches. Then I'll go in after spring green up starts coming up. Oh, not spring green up, I'm sorry. After a little green up starts coming up, I'll spray it again. I'll raise my tiller up about 1 inch. I'll lightly till it. Then I will come back after it greens up that 3rd time. I will spray it again, and then I will just scuff with my disc. Actually, then I'll take my disc and just lightly drag over the top of that to break that little crust up on top, and then that's when I'll call the pack and planting. So it's very tough when not using herbicides, and I have a lot of guys that don't use herbicides, and yet with them and without them, we always have weed and grass issues, but not using a herbicide, you usually have a lot more. It's just a lot tougher. Scott's on here. Hey, Rob, my thoughts are terminate my clover. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to take the advantage of the nitrogen, spray my plot for the fall and replant. What's your thoughts on that? Absolutely. I mean, you definitely can. That's one reason that I plant clover and everything, that all my annual plots I overseed in the spring of the year just to get that nitrogen out of them. But in your case, Scott, yeah, I would say absolutely. Robert, I'll tell you what, they'd probably charge you more if you mentioned my name when you ordered one. So, but you can try it. No, he'll take care of you. Take care of you very, very well. Scott, yeah, get some radish down with the honey hole and slam dunk. Planting that honey hole and slam dunk is one of my favorite things to do, because you're going to have the best of both worlds. You know, with the late season food in the honey hole, the early, mid, and late season with the slam dunk, mixing them together with the radish, the turnip, the whole 9 yards, all your brassicas, works excellent for a full season food source and a lot of late season food. One of my favorite things to do. I've done it for years and years. All right, guys, what else you got? That was my last question. Jason, good to see you on here, bud. I think we kind of went over everything on the proper tilling and answered some questions, but like I say, I'm more than happy if you got some more questions. We can definitely talk about them, and I will look into maybe setting up a page just for some still and video content of all you guys out there planting and stuff. I think that's a great idea, and show everybody how you're doing it. And Kevin's asking, are there any other seed combinations that you would mix? Excuse me. You know, seed combinations, probably not. Honey hole and slam dunk are the ones I'm pretty much going to mix together. If I was going to mix any more, which I have done this before in the past and it works very well, I'll throw some lights out in with my honey hole. The early season and mid-season draw is not as strong as using slam dunk, but the late season is unbelievable. But a lot of the other mixes, if they don't already have them in it, I'm always mixing, our 1 pound bags of cereal rye, which is a cereal grain. I'm always mixing them in with everything. So, but as in seed mixes alone, try just honey hole and slam dunk. And make sure that you ration them out so you're not overseeding with too much seed. John, you like dilly bars. You got me really thinking about Dairy Queen now, I'm telling you. I'm sitting here craving ice cream. All right, guys, we'll get off here. And oh, Jason, what are you talking about? Mix fall, winter, spring, and honey hole. Yeah, fall, winter, spring, and honey hole. Yep, there's a lot of different things you can mix together just depending on what you're wanting out of it. So It's and what I mean by that, I mean if you're wanting early season food, more late season, more mid season, there's different ways you can mix things to get the best out of each one. But again, honey hole and slam dunk, man, you just cannot hardly beat that. But again, ration it out. All right, guys, we're going to jump off here. We got done for the night. We'll be back on in a couple of weeks, discuss some more stuff, and we will talk to you then. You guys have a great night and take care.